Choosing an egg donor is, without a doubt, one of the biggest and most important decisions you can make when you're building your family. It's a journey that's full of hope, but also, let's be honest, a ton of questions and information. So in this explainer, we're going to cut through the noise and bring some real clarity to the whole process.
You're here because you're facing this exact question, right? It feels absolutely monumental because, well, it is. And trying to figure it all out can feel like carrying a really heavy weight.
And you know what? That feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it's completely normal. You've got hundreds of profiles to look at, dozens of things to think about, and so much emotion tied up in it all. Our goal here is to give you a clear, structured way to think about your choice so you can feel in control.
So here's our roadmap. We're going to walk through this together in 5 simple parts. We'll start with why this decision feels so big. Then we'll decode those donor profiles. After that, we'll navigate your main options, look beyond the idea of a perfect checklist, and finally, help you land on a choice you feel really, truly confident about. Okay, let's dive in. This whole thing is an incredibly personal journey, right? But one of the first practical things we need to get our heads around is the timeline. Now, this isn't meant to cause any panic, not at all. It's really just about being prepared. The reality is, when you're looking at these profiles, so are other people. So when you find a donor that just clicks for you, someone else might be feeling that exact same connection. And since a lot of donors only go through this process once, that opportunity can vanish pretty quickly. So being ready to move forward when you find a great match is really key. All right, let's talk about the profiles themselves. When you first start looking, one of the first things that jumps out is the donor's compensation, and it's so easy to make assumptions based on that number. This brings us to probably the biggest misconception in this whole process. Seriously, if you remember one thing, let it be this: a higher price tag does not equal a better donor. Let's dig into why that is. That price tag you see, it's often influenced by things like if the donor has done this before, their education, or even just if they're in high demand. It is not some standardized rating of quality. A donor with a lower compensation could absolutely be the perfect match for your family. And this is the real question, isn't it? The answer isn't a dollar amount. It's a feeling. It's about connection. It's about finding a set of values that just feels right for the future you're picturing for your family. The best donor is completely personal to you. Okay, keeping that in mind, let's get into some of the practical choices and, the trade-offs you're going to have to think about. There are 2 really big ones that come up all the time. First up, do you choose a first-time donor or someone who's done this before? A first-timer usually has a lower compensation, which can be a really big deal. The trade-off is you don't know what their cycle results will look like. With an experienced donor, you get that predictability. You can actually see their track record. But that peace of mind usually comes with a higher fee. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just about what you're most comfortable with. The second major choice is between a fresh cycle versus using frozen eggs. Think of a fresh cycle as being made to order just for you. It can result in more eggs, but it takes more time to schedule and coordinate. Frozen eggs are like off the shelf. They're ready to go immediately, which makes the process way faster. But you're working with a limited, set number of eggs. Again, it all comes down to what's most important to you: your timeline, convenience, or your family building goals. Okay, we've covered the practical stuff. Now let's get to the real heart of it. It is so incredibly easy to fall into this trap of trying to build the perfect person on paper. You know what I'm talking about, right? That checklist that just gets longer and longer, looking for an Ivy League education, a specific eye color, a concert pianist who also happens to run marathons. The search for this imaginary perfect person, it just leads to feeling stuck because that person doesn't exist. It's time to shift your perspective. This is the question to really sit with. Just forget the checklist for a minute. Think about the story you'll one day tell your child. What values, what kind of spirit, what human qualities in a donor would make you feel a deep sense of peace and pride in telling that story? The answer is in there. Now, while you're focusing on all those wonderful, heartfelt qualities, there is one technical thing that is absolutely non-negotiable, and that's genetic health. This is a crucial safety check for the long-term health and well-being of your future child. And I know that can sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. It's actually a pretty straightforward 2-step process. First, you just review the donor's genetic carrier screening report. And second, you make sure that the sperm provider gets tested for those same conditions. It's all about making sure you don't have any overlapping genes that could cause a health problem down the line. It's such a vital piece of the puzzle. So let's bring this all together now. We've decoded the profiles, we've navigated the big options, and we've shifted our focus from a checklist to a real, genuine connection. Now it's time to move toward making that choice.
You see, the goal was never to find the perfect donor. It's about finding the right donor. And the right donor is the person who clicks with your family's vision on every single level, the one that feels right in your heart, makes sense on paper, and aligns with your deepest values.
So, as you move forward, here are the key things to hold on to. Trust your judgment. That gut feeling is powerful. Keep your focus on those few things that truly, genuinely matter to you. Do your research, be thoughtful, but remember what we said about timing. Don't let a great match get away. You absolutely can and should move forward with confidence.
I'll leave you with this final thought to guide you. If you had to pick just one quality, not a physical trait, but a quality of character or spirit, what would be the most meaningful for the story of your family? Start right there. You'll be on the right path.